Look, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And if I had to do my own wedding flowers, this is how I would do it. Hey guys, I'm Marie, your trusted flower fairy. Thank you so much for stopping by today. And today I want to talk to you about what I would do if I had to do my own flowers from scratch for my wedding. So there are so many reasons people do their own wedding flowers. Maybe the top reason, I think, is economical. Sometimes you just don't want to spend the money and you might not have the money to spend. And also maybe flowers are not that big of a deal to you. So why should you hire a florist and spend all this money and time working with them if it's not that important to you? But you know you need them. You know you need some decor. You know your photos later will thank you if you have some flowers. So you decided to put in the effort and do your own flowers. So I'm going to go over some suggestions of what I would do step by step if I had to do my own wedding flowers. The first thing I recommend is to give yourself plenty of time. So flowers just takes time, right? They take time to come up. If you think of a plant, there are seasonalities for it to bloom. So think of creating with flowers as a lengthy process. It's not something I would rush. So give yourself plenty of time to plan ahead and, get familiar with what you're going to do. So time is the first thing I would do. I would not wait, 2 weeks before my wedding to think about my flowers. I will do it 6 months ahead, maybe 3 months, but I would definitely give myself more time to plan ahead. The second thing I will do is to get inspired. Yes, I always say when you're working with flowers, you should start and end with a lot of play and a lot of fun. So I would start by getting inspired. Maybe that would be, Instagram folders with different flowers that I like. Obviously Pinterest, if you're into TikTok, add that on there. But I will also do in-person activities. So maybe I'll go to my local botanical garden. There's one, the nearest one to me, I think is in Brooklyn or the Bronx. I've been to both. They're both amazing. But I would try to experience flowers in real life as well. Your local flower market. If you're in New York, you can head down on 28th Street early in the morning and look at the flowers. And whatever city you're in, I'm pretty sure there's a flower district somewhere. So definitely try to go in and see the flowers in person. Also, obviously, flower shops, walking in might be a little bit uncomfortable if it's a very small shop and you're not shopping. But hey, I don't know, maybe buy a single rose or something to just support the business. But I think it's fine if you walk in a shop just to look at flowers. Everybody will be okay. And another way to do this is also farmers markets. So a lot of times the farms will bring flowers in local markets and sell by the buckets and by the bunches, and you can also explore flowers that way. And obviously your local supermarket, which is my last resort to feel inspired by flowers, but hey, there are flowers there sometimes. So whatever you have to do, I'll definitely get myself in front of flowers so I can get inspired and also get a sense of what I like and what's in season and what colors are catching my eye. So I will start creating my color palette. So the third thing I will do is to finalize my design direction. So that is a lot of fun as well, but right after that, the real work will begin. But what I mean by that is really organizing everything. So I know this is the kind of colors I like. I know the pricing of my flowers. I start really going into like what it is that I want to execute with these flowers for my wedding. So speaking of design direction, I created a product called Design Directions, and it's literally that. So I create all the mood board for you, the inspiration for you, but also I give you the flowers, the flower mood board and inspiration. But more importantly, I give you a very detailed shopping list of everything. So your flowers, your candles, your vases, your napkins, your linens, like everything you would need on a different pricing scale. So I go from low end to high end, and this list has over 500 resources for you to shop from on the internet. So it's really, really resourceful, and I group them per different palettes. So it's literally called design directions. So in step 3, you can definitely purchase one of my design directions. I will save you a lot of time, and it's very affordable. So that could be a great start, so you can start mapping things out. But let's say you don't want to pay for my design direction and you're going to do it yourself. For my flowers, I will finalize exactly what kind of flowers I would like to have on my wedding day. The next thing I will do is recruit a team. So I will get my girlfriends, I will give them a call. Hey guys, I need your help on this big day. And I will start basically allocating tasks to different people, and I will involve them in the process. So it could be my friends, it could be family, whoever, depending on the size. I guess you'll decide if you need more than one person, but I think if you can have at least 2 people helping you for your wedding flowers, I would do that. I would definitely get more than 2 people. So because flowers, again, are labor intensive, and even though they're fun in the beginning and at the end, in the middle, there's a lot of work. And for them to look good and fresh and bloomy on your wedding day, and for you to not be stressed, I will definitely get 2 or 3 of my girlfriends or family members to help me put them together. The next thing I would do if I had to do my own wedding flowers and I want to be as economical as possible, I would repurpose what I already have. So I would go around my apartment or my house if I had one, but I have an apartment. I will go around and see what I already have in terms of containers, vases, what can be used for, what I can use for flowers as a base, or even add-ons. So if you have a vase that's right now in your house that has, I don't know, maybe some dry flowers in it, I'd repurpose it for the wedding. I would also ask my friends and family if they have extra vases they're not using. Remember, if your flowers are gorgeous and unified, like in terms of having a color palette, you can play around with your bases. It doesn't all have to be super matchy-matchy. So I would ask people if they have clear vases, low clear vases, high clear vases, whatever vase you decide or you have your eye on. But I will just ask around and I will see what I have as well. The next thing I would do is incorporate existing plants in my design. So most people have some kind of greenery or plant around their homes, and if you don't, you know people who do. So I would incorporate that in my design. So for example, if you have a really beautiful pothos, is that how you say it? Plant, kind of drapes on top of a bookshelf, for example. I think that could look really pretty on a stand, like these flowers are on a stand right now. I think it could look really nice behind your sweetheart table while you have your candles and your flowers in front of the sweetheart table. You can have a plant there, or maybe at the bar, instead of making a big bar arrangement, you can have a plant on there. If you have a nice ZZ plant, put it in the corner. I would incorporate any kind of greenery or plant I have on my wedding day. I'll place them strategically to add texture and foliage to the space. Now at this stage, if you still need vases, I would take a trip to my local Goodwill or Salvation Army. I will take a look at their home section. I've found so many gems at those places, guys. There are so many good finds. So I will just take a weekend, I will go hunt. Flea markets are great, but I would definitely hit any kind of bargaining places, secondhand, that would give me some kind of personality. Although I do like places like TJ Maxx or Dollar Tree, sometimes those things can be a little bit generic. So if I'm going to save on my flowers, I'd like to use things that has more personality. And from my experience, I feel like I find that more in secondhand shops or flea markets. They tend to have more interesting finds than your average Dollar Tree, if that makes sense. So obviously, if you cannot do that and you don't have time, then I would do the TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Dollar Tree, Home Goods. Actually, Home Goods have some good finds. Oh yeah, I like Home Goods. Maybe even Target. But again, those stores, they can rack up pretty fast in terms of cost. So I would always do secondhand first and then go to the stores. Now, moving on to the flowers, this is step 8, I believe. The next thing I will do as far as my flowers, I would always strive to shop in person and locally. It will always be cheaper to shop in person and locally. So it's just logistics, right? It just costs more. If I have to ship flowers to you, it's going to cost more. Although I have a flower directory on my design direction products, they are being shipped to you, obviously, if you get them. I always tell clients when they're trying to save money, and if I had to do my own wedding flowers and I want to spend as little as possible, I will take my butt to my local farm. If I live near one, I will go to my flower market, and I would try, and even big box store, like I think Sam's Club is a good one. I would shop in person if possible, because it's just always more economical than shipping flowers. That always costs more. So that's what I would do. If you have access to a farm, the farms often sell flowers in buckets, and it's very fresh, it looks good, and it's usually a lot cheaper than if you were to go to like a flower shop. Online would be my last resort, and then flower shops, because they will be the priciest options. But I will shop in bulk at my local wholesale flower market and at my big box store that might have the flowers I need. Now, if I am going to shop online, I will pick very hardy flowers like roses and things that just last a long time, because they're less delicate. I would not buy very delicate flowers online, because if I'm doing my own wedding flowers and I'm guessing I'm not super experienced doing it, you don't want fussy flowers. You know, if you are gonna get them in person. And you can talk to your, if you go, let's say, to the flower market, you can ask questions, right? And ask them, like, how do I keep this anemone alive? I don't know, but whatever it is that you decide to buy, I would definitely shop for it in person. And if I'm going to buy online, I will pick a few key flowers and get them in bulk online. But I definitely would not do anything delicate. And yeah, that's the main thing when it comes to shopping for my flowers. And also, I will buy everything in season. So I will never try to get, something that's out of season and try to get it for my wedding. I will always shop everything that's in season and what I can get locally, or I can walk up to the place, see my flowers, touch them, ask questions, and take them home. Also, speaking of buying flowers, the next thing I would do, I would definitely consider single ingredient arrangements. Think of like rose balls, carnation balls, and roses, or just any single ingredient arrangement. Personally, I think I love them. Like, I love working with one focal flower. You can have some greenery if you want, but I think having 25 roses in a vase is gorgeous. It never gets old. It's a classic, and it will always look good in photos. So I would also consider that, because you'll also save if you're buying one thing versus buying 10 things, right? And learning how to work with a bunch of different flowers. So I like single ingredient. Obviously, for your bouquet and your personals, you might want to get a filler and some foliage, but I would definitely strongly consider a single flower direction, or maybe a single flower for like the big arrangements, and then a second single flower for the bud vases. After that part, I will definitely make my flowers the day before my wedding, or maybe even 2 days if I have access to somewhere really cool and cold, and I can keep them in a dark room with good air conditioner. My God, I can't speak. Maybe if I had a garage, I would use that. But if not, I live in Manhattan, so it would be in my apartment. So I'd probably do it the day before. But if you have the ability to find a cooler, maybe your uncle, I don't know, has a bodega, has a deli, and he has a cooler somewhere, then you can even do them up to 2, maybe even 3 days before, if you have an actual cooler. But if not, most people don't just have a cooler, flower cooler hanging around, or a beverage cooler. So I would do my flowers the day before my wedding and have them be done, because I would not want to be stressed out the day of my wedding working on flowers. I would definitely get them done the day before. And I will also make sure, if anything is left over to be done the day of the wedding, I would assign that to the crew. That's why you have a team. So, and it's probably one of the few times you can actually pull the bossy card. Hey guys, I need this done. I'm getting married. So I would say I definitely would try my best to wrap it up the day before. And the day of the wedding, all you have to worry about is transport. And lastly, I will have fun with the process. Flowers are not a burden. They are God's gift to us to make our lives more beautiful. And I will never take the opportunity to work with flowers at scale, like a lot of them, as a burden. I think it can be a lot of fun. Not I think, I know it is a lot of fun. And I think you would have a lot of fun doing it too. So definitely I will start with a lot of fun. I will end with a lot of fun. And in the middle, I will make sure I am efficient, I plan, and I execute really well. Okay guys, so this is my thoughts on what I would do if I had to do my own wedding flowers, and also if I was really broke or I didn't want to spend the money on a wedding florist, this is how I would do it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And also, if this was of any value to you, please leave a comment or subscribe or let me know what else you would like me to create for you. As always, I'm your trusted flower fairy, and I am here to answer all your flower questions. I love to talk about business, flowers, of course, entertaining, and all of the good things this life has to offer. So yeah, and also check out Design Directions. I'm very proud of this product. I use it all the time in my professional life, so I think it could be very valuable to you as well. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. See you in the next one.